Hello there, YouTube. It's your boy Josh Ox,
It's your boy Tay.
and this is another episode of Sports Talk Tay and Josh. And on
Hmm.
this episode, we're going to discuss Last of Us episode 7. And just before we get started, we will discuss spoilers. But first, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Also, after this, leave a comment.
Yeah.
All right. So, episode 7, my first reaction was they made it just like the video game.
Yes.
They
Yes.
made it was just like the video game.
Just like the
So
DLC. Just
yeah.
like the DLC. It was a few changes, but we'll
I
talk
may
about that
discuss a
later.
huge spoiler. Maybe this might be it. I'm just gonna give it away. Joel's pretty much wounded,
Yeah.
and Ellie's pretty much looking for supplies and stuff, medication for Joel. That's pretty
Yeah.
much. But during the time they went to a flashback, which pretty much
Uh-huh.
explained Ellie's life before how everything started.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Her,
when she
yeah,
got
her
into a
being
school fight.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, her being with the federal um boot camp, and
yeah.
her
How she met
being,
her friend Riley slash
yeah.
roommate slash
Yeah.
we're gonna say others. We're just gonna keep it
Man, it was her love interest. Let's just be honest. That's exactly what she
well,
was.
it is what it is, man.
It
It
is what
is
it
what it
is.
is, man. I saw that a hint, but yeah, they said yeah, it was sort of hint.
If you played Last of Us, you know Ellie is what she was. Come on now, let's just be.
Yeah, we
That's what.
all knew. We all
Come
knew.
on. I was like,
We
yeah,
all
we all
knew.
come on. Yeah. Anything else you want to add before I take over?
I like the mall scene. I don't want to
Yeah.
give a. I want to take all of the thunder. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying
No,
to give
you
you a
good.
little bit of.
No, you
I
good.
like the mall scene when they was playing the video games. Remind me of
Yeah.
my childhood in the early 2000s. That's a little flashback in the
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
2000s. If
Yeah.
you 80s and 90s, baby, we getting old. So I'm just letting you know
Yeah.
we old now. So
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's true though. But I mean, no, I mean, no, I mean, you ain't gonna steal my thunder, bro. We gonna discuss everything anyway, so you know how that go. But
yeah. So I let you go first. I didn't want to steal all your thunder. I
no,
like
no,
to
you
leave a little bit on the table.
no, you good. I actually you hit it right on the head. Like, with my initial thoughts with this episode, it was really it really showed the emotions to the audience with that storyline with Ellie and Riley. Um, Kind of to the point where it's kind of a little emotional. Like, I think this might have been even more emotional than the Bill and Frank episode because
Emotions in the middle, Frank.
I think it was.
Ah,
It
I
might
think
have
the
been,
Bill of
bro.
Frank was a little bit more emotional, but
But it's
I get
up
what you're
there though.
trying to say.
Yeah, but it's up there though. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's there. Like, the emotions they have for these characters is there. So with this episode, with episode 7, with them going, like you said, her dealing with the fact that how now we gotta see why she says she can't do the stuff she do if she's alone. Now we see why. Um, by her having a friend like Riley
Hmm.
that, like I said, they pretty much grew up with each other, and pretty much her trusting. She was pretty much trusting her with her life at that point, with each other's lives at that point. That they pretty much thought they were safe. They knew the mall was infected. Was had infected in it. I mean, but they didn't think they was going to be alive per se. You know what I'm saying? This so happened just to been one. And the DLC was actually a whole herd of them. Like, it was like a lot of them. They actually, they fought. But um, I did like the fact that they touched that relationship. And they still left the question: what happened with Riley after they both were bitten? We still don't know
Hmm.
the answer to that. And I kind of like that
Hmm.
cause now we gotta know this notion where they say that she hurt somebody. We don't know if it was Riley. We don't know if it was the affected. We don't know. It could have been the affected that she was talking about that she had hurt. We don't know. But the fact that they touched that relationship also it kind of like shows why Ellie was kind of like cold-hearted towards Joel in the beginning, because she lost somebody close to her. Um, and she ain't want to have that feeling again. Just so happened, like we done both said on the last review, but when you want somebody that long of a time, and you go through as much shootouts and raiders and infected as much as you do, you're going to grow attached to each other. Now it was just like, now you get to see the first attachment outside of her mother, maybe, of Ellie as a kid, pretty much as a kid. We now see her attachment to somebody else outside of Joel at this point. Which I love. I love they touched it. I love they touched her attachment to Riley through Dickinson, and all that whole thing. So episode 7, like I said, it was an emotional roller coaster, and they know how to bring it in to that emotion. So we'll see what happens in episode 8, because now we're probably going to get to see some action, and that with these last 2 episodes maybe, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Any prediction?
Well, I already let the cat out the bag.
Yeah. We saw the drop in. Yeah, we talked about this before off the air. I said they have to end. They end. It sounds like they ended up to that portion of the story.
Yeah. So if you get into that mission in the game, I don't want to let it. I'll let it out. I'll just let it out because it's
That's it, man. We said spoilers. We gave them a warning.
Yeah, it's spoilers. Plus, if you play the game, you already know who we're talking about. It is in the trailer, so you already know who's coming up. Dennis the Cannibal is coming up. So this is going to be the mission where Ellie is sneaking around to get supplies and medication for Joel while he was injured. I don't know how far they're going to play into it. As far as I don't know if they're going to make this where the ending of that mission is when Ellie kills Dennis because he finds out she's affected and that whole thing. Or she was bit. Matter of fact, she was bit. She used the affected because they was about to kill her anyway. But I don't know if they're gonna play how they're gonna play that into it. But yeah, the next episode, Dennis the Cannibal, pretty much Ellie's first human kill per se. Yeah, first human kill per se is gonna be in this episode. I don't know how far in this episode they're gonna go with it, but I'm more likely it's probably gonna happen on that episode because they're introducing them. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen in that episode. As we've seen from The Last of Us so far, it's like Game of Thrones, where it's like some of these characters don't last very long. Yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen though. I think that that's
all right. We already know. You pretty much said it in a nutshell. I actually agree with you. That's pretty much how they're going to end it.
Yeah.
I think you think they're going to do an hour and a half, like season finale?
If they're trying to continue it to the game 2, they're going to have to do an hour and a half season finale to play it out like they want to.
You may have to look that up if they get the time. We might look that up.
Yeah,
potentially.
You
might look that up. Might be able to look that up.
Yeah.
So give it a rating 0 to 10. What we get this episode?
Bro, I can't even say. I might have to get it to a 9.
9. I give it about an 8. I give it an 8 because the flashback was pretty good. I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
And I like the fact that they kept it true to the actual DLC of that story. Yeah, it was still some difference. Like I said, like how where Riley was bitten. She was bitten on her hand in the show, but she was bitten on her shoulder on the DLC. I did like the fact that they kept it with being one infected, except for it being multiple. Because that makes it more. It makes it more realistic and more, I guess, drama. Dramatic. I guess with that type of changes, and it made the story better by them doing that. And I just like how they played them out. Like they really did play them out. Like the DLC. Like we really actually seen that relationship, how they played it out, and we got to see how Ellie was as literally a teenage girl in this affected world, and to actually have
Mhm.
somebody that she actually considered a friend and somebody she loved. Let's just be honest. She loved her. She loved her. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. She loved her,
Yeah.
and she lost it. And after she lost it, she closed up. So that was like that happened to anybody in the human life. If you lose somebody
Yeah,
you
that's
love,
the human
sometimes,
element of it. Yeah.
yeah,
It's the human
you lose
element.
somebody you love, you're gonna them walls is gonna come back up. The human element of you, the walls are gonna come back up. People just deal with grief and loss a lot differently than some people. She just so happy had the human element like anybody else. She lost somebody she loved, and she became a cold person. Not even say cold. Her walls just went up. She didn't trust people.
Mhm.
It's flat out how it is. She didn't trust nobody after that. You
Yeah,
know.
all right. I'm gonna stick with my 8. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. Great
Yeah.
episode. Great. So I want everybody to hit the like button, subscribe, and also check out our other content. We have other content too as well, and we
Yeah.
also have a playlist of all Last of Us. So you can go
Oh,
all the way back to episode 1 if you didn't.
yeah.
If you still catching up, you can catch our reviews after you watch it. We greatly appreciate it. Peace and
Yep.
hair grease.
Peace and love, y'all.